Hello tennis guys and welcome to my channel. So the Australian Open 2023 is over, and in this video I would like to present you my summary. So guys, this will be a quite short summary because I don't want to really waste your time, and I need to be honest with you guys. This Australian Open was really interesting, lots of ups and downs. And one thing that surprised me at the end, at the finals, and it should surprise you also, all of you, because usually I'm a guy because I'm a guy, I'm watching the men's finals with high expectations. But in this year's Australian Open, I was really excited about the women's finals. And I need to be honest with you guys, the women's finals surpassed my expectations. And for my taste, it was even better than the men's final. It was, I believe, more intense. It was also more interesting. Three-setter. It was a fight between, I would say, two really different in a sense of mentality, set up players. Jelena Rybakina, young player, but with a very mature acting on court and also off court, with a very calm and I would say calm and peaceful attitude. I admire that, guys. I admire that. And she wasn't a favorite. The favorite was obviously, slightly favorite was Aryna Sabalenka, who eventually won the match in a three-setter. It was a really nice battle, and I watched the women's final from the start to the end, which is not usually happening, because women's tennis wasn't always my cup of tea. But in the recent years, the pace of the matches, also the drama, and also the quality of the overall tennis, women's tennis skyrocket really. And now you can watch, sorry guys, almost any women's match on the WTA tour. I mean, on the highest level, on the Grand Slam, and you won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed. Great rallies, great fights. No one is giving up. They are always trying to perform their best. Great attitude on court, and I'm really impressed by the women's tennis in the late let's say in the last 2-3 years. And I believe a big impact had Iga Swiatek to the pace of the tennis. And now all the other women, they feel there is something left in the tank, and they really can push their limits much higher than maybe ever before. So that's great. I really enjoyed the final. It was 2 hours 28 minutes. So a proper women's final with everything. First set, Rybakina 6-4. Second set, Sabalenka 6-3. And in the fourth set, which took 57 minutes, like the second set, Sabalenka won 6-4. But it was tense. It was intense until the very end. And Sabalenka did just a little bit more to win the match, which I could see on her performance. She was really trying. She played very aggressive all the time, never gave up on the style of her tennis. And Elena Rybakina 23 years old. She's also a Grand Slam champion. But something is still missing, I believe, in her game, just a little bit. But her mindset is really, really, really good. So maybe she should play sometimes more aggressive instead of playing maybe sometimes a waiting game, waiting style of play. So yeah, that's it. But great match. I really enjoyed that very much. Now to the men's final. Uh, you know, you know who was favorite. We all know that who was the big favorite. But I truly believed that in this year's final, Stefanos Tsitsipas could really put some high damage to the game of Novak Djokovic, because we know how he struggled throughout the tournament with his muscle on his leg, hamstring, and we know that he got better throughout the tournament until the final, where he moved, I believe, almost flawlessly without really showing any signs of pain. Also in the semifinals, he was really okay. Just a small tape on his hamstring in the final, but he looked really, really, let's say 100% ready for the match. And Stefanos Tsitsipas, on the other hand, he was playing some great tennis during the tournament. I believe he was gaining more and more self-confidence until the final. So I can divide the final into, let's say, two parts. So the first part is obviously the first set. What happened to Tsitsipas, I'm not sure, but he felt kind of intimidated by the fact he's playing another final against Djokovic, best player, probably the best player in the world right now, and maybe also for the future. Djokovic is really looking like the GOAT. Now we know that he won the 22nd Grand Slam, and he's now on the same level as Rafa with the Grand Slams. But I thought that Tsitsipas will, let's say, will go for it, really, right from the beginning. And sadly, he missed the first set completely. He wasn't on the court present as I know him. He played slowly, poorly. He was like overthinking things, and he felt the spark in his game. He felt the energy. It looked like he's playing a match that he's just not able to win right from the beginning. But he got, let's say, better at the end of the first set. Somehow I felt that he's finding his way against Djokovic weapons. And in the second set, he really nailed it with his tennis. Finally, he nailed it, and it was his tennis. Great firepower from his forehand, changing the crosses and the lines, forehand long line, backhand long line, just fantastic. It worked really well. It drove Djokovic crazy. At some point, I felt like Djokovic is clueless, that he was lost somehow in the fast game of Tsitsipas. But again, he managed to get the second set into the tiebreak, and we all know what's going to happen in tiebreak when you play against Djokovic. You're in 99% you're going to lose, because the mental strength of Djokovic in the most intense moments in these biggest matches is unbeatable. I think it's really unbeatable. But there was chance also in the tiebreak, I believe. but there were some really bad unforced errors from Tsitsipas. He struggled to maintain the self-confidence, and he lost the weapons he used during the second set, and somehow once again Tsitsipas really was weak in the most intense moments. And I don't believe Djokovic did really play his best match in the Australian Open. He played better during the Australian Open, better matches, and I don't think the final was his best performance, because sometimes I felt he is kind of waiting for Tsitsipas errors, which eventually came, and also some double faults from Tsitsipas in the most important moment. So, but also Djokovic made a double fault in a very important moment, I believe, in the second set. So 7-6, the second set, 7-4 in the tiebreak, and then the third set, it was a similar, let's say, scenario. Tsitsipas did play well, but sometimes I felt there were too many unforced errors from his backhand. Forehand stopped working really in the third set, and if Tsitsipas just played like 3% maybe better, then he had a big chance against Djokovic, because as I said, Djokovic wasn't by far at his really best level during this tournament. The best level probably he played was against Demi Noor. That was his best level. But as we know, every opponent is different. The second tiebreak, the second set was 7-5, but really there was, I believe, 5-1 for, or 5-0, maybe even 5-1 for Djokovic. Then something happened. Some fan shouted during the rally, which made Djokovic, which really affected Djokovic, and then he lost some points, and it looks like it was close. But everyone who is watching Djokovic and who is playing tennis knows that Djokovic, when he has serve and it's 6-5 for him and he has serve, he will probably finish the match. So I'm really surprised that Tsitsipas didn't play his best tennis in the moments when it was possible actually to play the best tennis, but he made some unforced errors, unusual unforced errors, too long. The balls were sometimes too long from his backhand. Sometimes the forehand was too short in the net. I think Tsitsipas is also struggling just a little bit with some technical, with his technique. Maybe he should change something slightly to be more consistent and to avoid the big mistakes. Because if you watch Tsitsipas and Djokovic, for example, the speed of the shots, Tsitsipas can play faster than Djokovic, but it doesn't really work. Djokovic, on the other hand, can play slower balls with great depth. That the balls can be very long, and that is the biggest damage that is done to the opponent, because long balls with a quite high spin means that Djokovic can recover, has more time to recover, has more time to read how his opponent moves. On the other hand, Tsitsipas, when he plays fast shots, forehand cross, fast shot, but without significant precision, it's kind of easy, because Djokovic can read the game like this. He knows, even if the shot is super fast, he knows where the shot will land. And to be honest, everyone who played competitive will tell you that fast game is not hurting you too much. You just block the ball. You just need to be there, and then you block the ball. It's not really important or so difficult to play with the pace of your opponent's shots. It is more difficult to create the pace when the opponent plays slower balls but with a high depth, big topspin, and a great precision, because you have too much time to think about. Then long ball, that is the long ball that comes deep in the court and is higher over the net, is also more difficult to read actually where the ball will land compared to a flat fast stroke, because flat fast stroke there is no change in the trajectory, and you kind of read it kind of easier. You read the position where the ball will end easier compared to a high topspin ball where you need to really prepare and go for it in the right moment. So that's also the difference, and I believe that these still young players, they should learn from these guys like Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer, that it is not always important to play fast. It's important to play with this, that you think a little bit ahead, and you play it like chess. So you know that you can play the neutral shots, and I'm talking about these neutral shots. I've talked about them many times on my channel, that these neutral shots that kind of don't make any damage to the opponent, they create pressure on the opponent because it's their turn to create something. And when your creation goes bad or is not done properly, then you can make an unforced error, of course. So Djokovic is really master in creating a sneaky pressure, let's say sneaky pressure, that even though some of his shots lack the speed, they are very, very clever. And I think these guys like Tsitsipas need to still learn the game more to master it to the, let's say, similar level of Djokovic. So guys, congratulations to Sabalenka and Djokovic for winning the Australian Open. It was fantastic. And also congratulations to our Czech ladies who have won Australian Open in doubles. So Sinikaova and Krejcikova, big congratulations. It is their 7th Grand Slam title in doubles, which is amazing. So they are without a doubt the best double players of the recent history. So, or maybe even in the whole history. I didn't count any other Grand Slams of the other players out there. So guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think? What do you thought about the Australian Open? I think it was fantastic. Great women's final. And let's say okay men's final, but nothing really in my opinion spectacular. But it could have been spectacular if just few points were going the Tsitsipas way, but that did not happen. And we can talk about the but what if and so on, but it's actually useless. It doesn't make any sense. So guys, let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the Australian Open. I did enjoy very much, because the time for the Australian Open, when they are playing, is really good for Europe. We can watch it during the night and also in the morning until lunch, let's say. And even after the lunch, there were some matches. So just fantastic. And yeah, looking forward to the next slams, and I hope the GOAT race will continue, and I believe Djokovic will this year will decide really who is the best in tennis history in terms of the numbers, the amount of Grand Slams. So guys, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, you can comment it, share it, click the thumbs up. And of course, you can support my channel by buying me a coffee, support the channel by clicking the super thanks button, and you can shop some merchandise on my art store. Guys, that's all for now. Enjoy tennis, play tennis, watch tennis every time, every day. And don't forget to enjoy the maneuverability. Bye guys.